Hello guys, in this video I'm going to dive into one of Neville's most powerful teachings about how true transformation happens in our lives. Many people think that change in your life means working harder, fixing problems, or trying to control circumstances on the outside. But here is something much deeper, that real change doesn't come from trying to adjust your life while still holding on to the old version of yourself. The beliefs, fears, doubts, and limitations you carry inside you, the stories that you tell yourself about who you are and what's possible, keep you tied to the same level of consciousness no matter how much you try to improve your life on the outside. If you continue to think and feel like the old you, nothing will truly change. And here in this video I will teach you how to come to that change and how to transcend on the level of consciousness that you really want. Now here's something to always bear in mind. You cannot put new wine in old bottles or new patches upon old garments. That is, you cannot take with you into the new consciousness any part of the old man. All of your present beliefs, fears, and limitations are weights that bind you to your present level of consciousness. If you would transcend this level, you must leave behind all that is now your present self or conception of yourself. And to do this, you take your attention away from all that is now your problem or limitation and dwell upon just being. That is, you say silently but feeling to yourself, I am. So here the real change is not about adding something new on top of the old, it's about becoming a completely new version of yourself from the inside. If you want to experience a different life, a life with more freedom, happiness, success, or love, you cannot step into the new reality while still dragging along the same thoughts, fears, doubts, and beliefs that belong to your old self. Those old ideas about who you are and what is possible for you are exactly what keep you stuck in the life that you have right now. They are like invisible chains holding you down at your current level of being. And the part you cannot put new wine into old bottles mean that you cannot create a new experience of life while still thinking like the old version of you. You cannot bring any piece of your current identity, the one shaped by limitations, insecurities, or failures, into the new state that you want to live in. If you do, it will simply pull you back and break the process. And to truly rise to a higher state of consciousness, to a new reality, you must completely release and detach from the self that you currently believe yourself to be. And this means shifting your focus away from everything that seems like a problem right now, and away from all the labels that you have given yourself. Instead of trying to fix or fight the old story, you stop giving it attention altogether. You go deeper than all those surface level definitions and connect with the most basic truth that you are, you exist. You start with a pure awareness of simply I am, without adding anything after it. And in that state you are not poor or rich, not loved or unloved, not weak or strong. You are just a being. And when you rest in this deep, formless state of just being, you free yourself from the limitations of the past. And from that blank, open space, you can now start to feel yourself as the new version of who you want to be. You imagine and embody that new identity, not as something far away, but as something that already exists within you. And in this pure state of awareness, everything is possible. Any version of you that you can imagine is already there, waiting for you to claim it. And because you are no longer trying to patch something new onto the old self, the change happens naturally and powerfully. And the new and the old simply do not fit together if you try to step into a new, bigger version of life, one filled with success, love, health, or freedom, while still clinging to the same old fears, doubts, and limited ideas about yourself. You will end up breaking the process. The new reality cannot survive inside the old mindset. And the phrase you cannot take with you into the new consciousness any part of the old man. It means talking about your inner identity. The old man is the current version of you, shaped by your past, by your repeated thoughts, and by the stories that you tell yourself every day. Neville says that transformation is not about adding something new on top of who you already are. It's not about saying I want a better life while still believing deep down that you are not worthy of it. It's about letting go of the identity that no longer serves you. You must release every belief, fear, and limitation that belongs to the old version of you. Only when you do that can you rise into a new state of consciousness, a new way of seeing yourself and the world. So if you want to become something new, you must stop being who you used to be. You cannot walk into the new life as the same person. You must mentally and emotionally drop everything that ties you to the past. All stories excuses, and labels. And when you do this, you create space for the new version of yourself to appear. And here is one of the most powerful and life-changing way on how to free yourself from your current situation and step into a new reality, which is not by fighting with your problems, overthinking them, or trying to fix everything outside of you, but it's by shifting your attention away from everything and coming back to the most basic, the fundamental truth about yourself, that you exist. And now you have to stop giving so much of your mental energy to the things that worry you. Most of us spend all day thinking about what's wrong, how little money we have, how lonely we feel, what went wrong in the past, or what might go wrong in the future. And because we keep focusing on these things, we keep feeding them with our attention, and they stay alive in your experience. And now you have to do the opposite. You have to withdraw your attention from the problems. It doesn't mean you are pretending they don't exist, but you stop obsessing over them and stop letting them define who you are. And as you continue to rest in that feeling of I am, you start to detach from all the things that once defined you. You are no longer the person who is struggling, who is broke or unloved. You are just pure being, limitless potential. And from this state, you can begin to create a new concept of yourself. But the key step is to first reach this simple awareness by pulling your focus away from what's wrong and deeply feeling the truth that you are. That is, go inward, focus on the basic fact that you exist, and gently repeat I am until you can feel yourself as just pure being, no labels and no limitations. This simple, powerful shift changes everything, because once you stop identifying with the problems, they lose their hold over you and you open the door to becoming whoever you choose to be. And now, do not condition this awareness as yet. Just declare yourself to be and continue to do so until you are lost in the feeling of just being, faceless and formless. And when this expansion of consciousness is attained, then within this formless deep of yourself, give form to the new conception by feeling yourself to be that which you desire to be. You will find within this deep of yourself all things to be divinely possible. Everything in the world which you can conceive of being is to you within this present formless awareness a most natural attainment. And here Neville explains the way to transcend in 2 simple steps, which I'm going to explain now. The first one is, once you start practicing the awareness of simply being, just focusing on I am without adding anything after it, you should not rush to define yourself right away. Most people, as soon as they learn about imagination or affirmations, they quickly start saying I am rich, I am loved, I am successful. But Neville says to not do that too quickly. The reason is that if you try to build a new identity on top of an old one that hasn't truly dissolved yet, you are still working from the limited mindset you already have. That old mindset will weaken or block the new state that you are trying to create. So when he says do not condition this awareness as yet, he means do not attach any label, quality or identity to your awareness right away. For a while you should simply stay in the pure feeling of existence itself. Just deeply sense the truth that you are, you exist, that's it. And in that state you are not rich or poor, not loved or unloved, not strong or weak. You are none of those labels, you are just pure awareness. The part of you that is deeper than every story, that is deeper than every memory, opinion or circumstance. He says to declare yourself to be and continue to do so until you are lost in the feeling of just being, that is faceless and formless. That means you keep gently repeating I am in your mind and truly feeling it, not as words, but as an experience. And you do this until your sense of being, a person with a name and a past, fades away, and what remains is just the raw awareness of existence. And in that moment you are not thinking of yourself as anything specific. You are not a man or woman, not a job title, not a set of problems. You become faceless and formless, like an open empty space of consciousness that simply is. This state is powerful because it's like wiping the state of your mind completely clean. All the limiting beliefs, fears, and old ideas about yourself lose their grip when you enter this state. You become an empty vessel ready to be filled with something new. And then is the second step. It says, when this expansion of consciousness is attained, then within this formless deep of yourself, give form to the new conception by feeling yourself to be that which you desire to be. This is the second step. Once you have reached this deep state of pure awareness, awareness, once you have let go of all the old labels and became empty, after you reach this state of just being and a whole being, or let's call it emptiness, now you can rise to any state and transcend. Now you are ready to imagine and feel yourself as the person that you want to become. It's very important that this step comes after the first one, because now your consciousness is not clouded by the old identity. Now you are starting fresh, and from that clean, powerful place, you begin to shape a new concept of yourself. You do not just think the words, I am successful. You feel what it's like to already be that person. You inhabit that new identity emotionally and mentally. You walk around in your inner world as if that new version of you already exists right now. And in this formless, deep, this silent, limitless state of being, everything is possible. You can become anything because you are no longer tied to your past. And the more you feel yourself to already be the person you want to be in that state, the more natural and the real it becomes to you. Eventually your outer reality will reflect it. So the first step to transforming your life is to forget everything you think you are and just rest in the awareness of being. Be nobody, just be. Only when you have reached that state, free from old ideas and limits, should you then begin to imagine and feel yourself as the new version of who you want to be. It's like first emptying a glass completely before pouring in fresh water. And the emptiness comes first, and then the new identity is formed from that powerful formless awareness. And when you do it in this order, your new state of being takes root deeply and naturally, and it will eventually shape your reality. And now the part you will find within this deep of yourself all things to be divinely possible. Everything in the world which you can conceive of being is to you within this present formless awareness a most natural attainment. So when you go deep inside yourself into that quiet formless space of pure awareness where you are no longer holding onto your old beliefs, fears or limitations, something amazing happens. You realize that everything is possible for you. That's what this phrase means, that you will find within this deep of yourself all things to be divinely possible. And when you are in this state, you are not the same person you were before. You are no longer defined by your past experiences, by the mistakes that you made, by what you think you can or cannot do, or by the limits that you have been told that exist. And in this deep inner space, which is called formless awareness, there is no resistance, no doubt, no fear. Everything that exists in the world, every possibility, every opportunity, every dream is already present to your consciousness. It is no longer something far away or hard to get, because you are no longer identifying with that old self who believed it was impossible. And the other part that says everything in the world which you can conceive of being is to you within this present formless awareness a most natural attainment, takes this idea even further. So once you are in this state of pure being, imagining or conceiving something, like being wealthy, successful, loved, or confident, is no longer a struggle or something that feels unnatural. It becomes natural. Why this happens is because the old limits that made it feel difficult or impossible are gone. And in this inner state, what you imagine feels like it already belongs to you. It's as natural as breathing. And in other words, in this formless, deep part of yourself, there is no separation between you and the life that you want. Anything you can imagine, anything you can truly conceive in your mind and feel in your heart is already there in potential, waiting for you to claim it. So it's not far off. It's not something you have to struggle or fight to get it. It's already part of your consciousness, part of who you are. And because you are now open and free from all limitations, it naturally manifests in your experience. So the lesson from these two quotes is this: when you go deep inside and let go of your old self, your fears, your doubts, and limiting beliefs, you enter a state of pure, formless awareness. And in this state, everything is possible, and anything you can imagine or conceive of becomes a natural part of your reality. So you don't have to push, struggle, or force it. The universe, your consciousness, and your life aligned effortlessly because you are now vibrating from a place of unlimited potential. And the deeper you go into yourself, and the more you let go of your old limits, the more the impossible becomes possible. And everything that you can imagine starts to feel completely natural to you. And this is the power of formless awareness. This is where creation begins. Okay guys, thanks for watching this video till the end. I hope this video was helpful, and see you in another video.